This one is another is the prilocaine. Good. So lidocaine and prilocaine. Okay. Next, baba tayo. Kung tayo sa excretion. So the last stage ng pharmacokinetics is excretion. And again, there are several areas kung saan pwedeng ma-excrete yung body natin. Ay, ma-excrete yung drug sa body natin. So like the kidney. So the kidney, it's a major organ for excretion. When we talk about drug excretion, most drugs talaga, iniihi talaga natin yan. And again, in order for the drug to be excreted in this route, primarily, it must be in the water-soluble form. Next, another site ng drug excretion, another site of drug excretion is the lungs. Example ng drugs excreted here, una-una dito is the nitrous oxide. The nitrous oxide, it is also known as the laughing gas. It is also known as the laughing gas. Bakit? Nitrous oxide is an analgesic drug with mild sedative effect. Okay? So, pinaka-use niya, Doc, is an analgesic agent. Okay? So, may siyang mild sedative effect. Okay. So, dapat, or supposedly, like, for example, ako, binigyan ako nito, dapat, mare-reduce yung pain perception ko, or hindi ako makakaramdam ng pain. As masesedate ako, kakalma ako. Okay, I will be sedated, so kakalma yung patient. There are some patients na pag nabigyan nito, hindi naman lahat, some patients, pag nabigyan nito, instead of a mild sedative, naging hyper yung patient. So the patient becomes more hyperactive. Tawa ng tawa, etc. And they call it as laughing gas. Actually, it is a side effect known as a paradoxical excitement. So it's a side effect of the drug. We call it as paradoxical excitement. Okay? So again, you think of nitrous oxide as the side effect known as paradoxical excitement. Again, when I say paradox, diba? When I say paradox, it shouldn't happen because it is a sedative. Eh. When I say sedative, the drug has a calming effect. Okay? Dapat, may feel sleepy. Dapat, calming effect. Relax. But again, there's some patients, there's this excitement sila na nararamdaman after a drug is absorbed, so, or is given to the patient. So we call this paradoxical excitement. And again, it's the term laughing gas. And also, just to add, nitrous oxide, when given, it is given, are you aware paano siya binibigay? Inhalation yan eh. Via gas is mixed with oxygen. So the nitrous oxide is mixed with oxygen. Okay. It will be discussed sa inyo sa pedya. Okay. Then, that gas, okay, so after absorption, ma-absorb sa lungs, it will be distributed sa katawan. So, dadaan siya sa liver, pero dadaan lang siya. We do not have any enzyme pang metabolize ng nitrous oxide. So, dadaan siya kay liver, tapos pagdating sa lungs, i-excrete mo siya. Basically, it bypasses the metabolism stage. Okay? So, the nitrous oxide bypasses the metabolism stage ng pharmacokinetics. So, ano lang siya? Ade. Okay. May tanong sa akin. Doc, all drugs administered via the inhalation route bypasses metabolism stage daw ba? So, inask niya if all drugs given by the inhalation route, do they bypass the metabolism stage? No. Okay? Only selected drugs like nitrous oxide. Okay? A good example is as yung salbutamol. Yung ginagamit ng may asthma dyan. Inhalation. Okay? Out. Okay? It will be absorbed by the lungs. It will be distributed. And pagdating kay liver, salbutamol will be metabolized by the liver enzymes. So it is metabolized. It is given inhalation by the inhalation route, but it is metabolized by the liver. Then it is excreted by the urine. Okay? It's so not all drugs given by the inhalation route bypasses the metabolism stage. And only select drugs like nitrous oxide that does that. Next, also another drug that is excreted via the lungs is alcohol. So ito naman, kakaiba. You take alcohol orally, ininom mo, na-absorb, tapos iniihi mo yung iba na excrete mo via the lungs. That's why yung mga police, di ba, they have this alcohol breath test. Kung nakainom ka, say nahuli ka, galing kang Tomas Morato, okay, so, pinara ka, binisugbat, mag-drive, so papabugayin ka. So madidetekto kung may alcohol kang. May mga gimikan pa ba sa Tomas Morato? Diyan kami dati. Diyan ako dati nung nag-aaral pa ako. Ay, nung bata-bata ka pa. Ano ba ba yung perfect spot? Nagbi-billiards kami dati. Ang lagi akong tambay dyan. Dati yun. Nung binata pa ako. Okay. Next. Tubig na lang po iniinom ko ngayon. Tubig. Saka yung gatas ng anak ko na hindi naubos. Joke lang. Okay. Next, balik tayo. Breast milk. Okay, another site ng excretion ng drug is breast milk. Tingnan nyo, alcohol, caffeine, cocaine, nicotine na excrete po sa breast milk. Kaya po sa mga nanay dyan, kung addict kayo ngayon, okay, at nagkaanak kayo, nagpapa-breastfeed kayo, itigil nyo na yan. Pati anak nyo po, addict, mga addict. Totoo po ito Totoo po ito. Pati anak nyo damay. Okay, pati anak nyo damay. Okay, so kaya itigil nyo na yan. Kaya kung may anak na kayo. Okay po, ititigil. ano mo, Doc? Ano ba addiction mo? Pag-usapan natin yan. Ano ba addiction mo? Totoo to Merong documentary dito. Yung babae, alcoholic siya, tapos nagko-cocaine. This is in Colombia yata ito. Parang gano'n o sa Mexico. Kung di Colombia ito, sa Mexico. Tapos nahuli siya. Nagpapa-breastfeed siya. Dok, alam niyo yung anak niya, nakadilat lang na gano'n, no? Nakatulala na lang yung baby niya. Tapos, syempre, kinulong yung babae. So, yung bata ngayon, hindi na siya nakaka-receive ng alcohol, cocaine, via the breast milk. Nagkaka-withdrawal syndrome yung bata. Kinukumbulsyon yung bata, etc. May almost dumating sa point na halos mamatay yung bata eh. Okay, so, ayan. So, kaya pag may something kayo na tinitake, once na nagbuntis kayo, magpa-breastfeed kayo, stop nyo yan as much as possible. Okay? So, take note. Dok, ilang cups po ng coffee pwede pang nagpapa-breastfeed? Hindi ko sigurado, Dok. Hindi ko pa na-try magpa-breastfeed eh. Hindi ko sure. Hindi ko sure. Hindi ko sure. Okay, tatanong ko yung asawa ko. Hindi, joke lang. Hindi ko sure. Hindi na lang po ako mag-aanak. Hindi ka na lang mag-aanak. Hindi ko sigurado. So, I'm not quite sure with the volume drug actually excreted. Okay. Next. Nasaan na ako? Yeah. According sa MD friend ko, Doc, isang bottle ng wine bago lumabas sa milk. Isang bottle ng wine. Teka, parang may mali dun sa sinabi niya. When you say isang bottle ng wine, the alcohol in the wine has varying concentrations. May mga wines na 40% alcohol, 35%, 30% alcohol. Basically, again, it depends on the amount of intake. I mean, specifically, we're talking about the alcohol, not the entire volume. Kumbaga, volume plus percentage of alcohol yata yung kino-compute. If tama yung. Kasi, one bottle of wine is very generic. It's very general, right? Some wines may 40%, may 35%, may 30%, may 20%. Yung may hinang klase, may 15%. So, may hinang klase lang talaga. Ano dun? Gets? Kasi kung nagbabacardi ka, 151, mataas ang concentration nun. Nagbo-blue label ka, black label, double black, matataas yung concentration ng alcohol. Okay, so yun. So depende. Okay, so depends sa I think concentration is also included in the formula. But yun, I'm not sure if how much is really actually excreted sa breast milk, but it's there. Okay, like for example, lidocaine. Lidocaine is safe sa nagpapa-breastfeed. Okay, when lidocaine is given sa isang patient, nyari nagpapa-breastfeed, it is excreted sa breast milk, but very little amounts. Kumbaga, in any dose given, it is excreted, but very little yung dose na makukuha ni patient, na bata, na we can say na hindi siya masyadong maapektuhan. Okay, so kumbaga, hindi siya masyadong maapektuhan nung dose kasi konti lang. So yun. So yung isang lidocaine na cartridge, ano. So yun. So actually dagdagan mo dalawa, konti lang din siya. Kaya very little lang na-excrete. So sa alcohol, ganun. It's the same thing. So depende sa dose at intake. Okay. Ito, meron daw nabibiling strip pang check if ma-alcohol yung breast milk. Ano yung tanong, nilulublub siya. It's okay. Yeah, mas okay yun, di ba? Okay. Next, balik tayo. O kaya, teka. Baka kasi, kaya ko lang kinorek yun. Kasi baka may uminom dito eh. Okay? At nagpapa-breastfeed eh. Kaya ako kasi nabasa ko, according to sa MD friend ko, isang bottle ng wine bago lumabas yung milk. Baka may uminom dito eh. Sabihin, kalahati lang ininom ko, narinig ko. Hindi i-excrete yun sa breast milk. But the question is, how much yung ma-excrete sa breast milk? 1/4 dose, 3/4 dose, full dose nung bottle, or depende pa nga sa concentration. So, that's all, factors din yung mga yan. Okay? So, kaya wag na kayong uminom. Okay? Next. Parang, siya, masyadong broad yung statement. Okay. Next. Move tayo. So, site ng diary excretion also, bile, large intestine, saliva, and sweat. So, pwede rin ito mga to. Balik tayo dito punta tayo dito sa may remember. Okay. So, half-life. So, half-life refers to the time required for a drug to reduce half of its initial value. Okay, ang importante dito yung principle lang, no? Ano ba ibig sabihin ng half-life? So pag sinabing half-life, yung time required for a drug to reduce half of its initial value, ibig sabihin, ang pinag-uusapan natin sa half-life, yung oras bago mangalahati yung drug sa katawan from the initial value. So kunyari, Doc, binigyan kita ng 500 milligrams ng Glutafos. May nagpamigay daw eh. May nagpamigay daw ba? Parang may nag-send sa akin eh. May nagpamigay daw sa labas eh. Okay, joke lang to. Joke lang. So, drug A. May nag-PM sa akin eh. Doc, nagpamigay po. Okay, 500 milligrams of drug A. Tapos, after 2 hours, assuming sinukat natin yung drug sa katawan, naging 250 na lang siya, assuming. Ano lang to, Doc? Ano lang to, hindi to actual values ha. Ano lang to? Just to understand the concept. So, after 2 hours, assuming naging 250 na lang yung drugs do sa katawan, ang half-life nito, Doc, is 2 hours. Okay? So, again, half-life is the amount of time needed to cut down the dose into half from the initial value. So, that's half-life. Okay? Next, clearance. So, clearance is the rate at which the drug or the active drug is removed from the body. So, in the clearance rate, we're talking about the dose of the drug eliminated per a certain amount of time. Balikan ko example ko. And this is just for the sake of understanding the concept. So, 500 milligrams yung initial dose, 2 hours bago naging 250 milligrams yung drug sa katawan. Ibig sabihin, ang clearance rate nito is how many dose eliminated? 250 milligrams per 2 hours. And again, it has a half-life of 2 hours in this case. Nasusundan yung concept. So, when I say clearance rate, may kasama tayong dose. We're looking at the dose eliminated as well for a certain amount of time. In a half-life, we're just talking about, again, how much time it takes to reduce the concentration of the drug into half from the initial value na pinag-usapan natin. Can you follow me sa concept? Clearance rate, half-life. So, may kaiba sila ng konti. Kaiba sila. Okay, anyway. Then, when we talk about clearance of drugs, ba tayo? Drugs follow either of these two principles. So, we have the zero-order kinetics and we have the first-order kinetics. So, in the zero-order kinetics, okay, ano kay description, sabi dyan, the amount of drug eliminated is constant and it is not dependent on the concentration of drug in the plasma fluid. Examples of drugs that follows the zero-order kinetics: alcohol, phenytoin, aspirin. Okay. Sige, ganito. Bigay ako ng example. Let's talk about alcohol. Doc, the values that I will be discussing here are not accurate. They're not very precise. These are just rough estimations, okay? But they're not totally accurate. Hindi naman ito tinatanong sa boards ng competition. I just want to let you understand the principle of zero order. But the math, the values that I will be using here are estimations lang, hindi siya precise, okay? So, hindi siya accurate. So, hindi nyo siya, hindi na naman tinatanong sa boards. Okay, so, for example, when you talk about alcohol, when it follows the zero-order kinetics, it has a constant. Ano sabi sa description? The amount of drug eliminated is constant. So, meron siyang constant na clearance rate na roughly around 15 ml per hour. Roughly 15 ml per hour. So, kinulitin ko, hindi actual value to, but medyo malapit dyan. Okay, kasi depende sa pasyente. May pasyenteng mas maliit, may pasyenteng mas matangkad. There are patients that their enzymes are more active than the others. So, kaya iba-iba to. But roughly, ganito siya. Okay. So, assuming ikaw yung patient, at ikaw to, meron kang clearance rate ng alcohol, constant ito, na 15 ml per hour. Then, uminom ka ng alcohol. Say, bumili ka ng SMB. Pilsen yan. Tatay ka na eh. Okay, pag tatay na, Pilsen na ininom. Pilsen na ininom eh. Okay. So, nakalagay doon, yung assuming yung bottle is 300 ml, tapos nakalagay 5% alc. Ito yung sabi ko. So, depende sa volume, saka yung percentage ng alcohol. So, iba-iba yung alcohol content nun, ng bote. Kaya hindi mo sabi hindi accurate yung bottle na principle natin. So, if this is 300 ml with 5% alcohol, it means one bottle roughly contains 15 ml ng alcohol. Okay, kasi 10% is 30. 10% of 300 is 30. So, 5% is 15. Okay. Then sabihin natin na uminom ka na 4 nito. So, 5% alcohol, mahina lang yan. Parang mga sunbig lights. So, nakainom na yung sunbig light. So, mahina lang yun, mababa lang yung 5% na yun. As uminom ka 4 na bottles. So, again, rough estimation. So, assuming 4 na bottles ka, so how many dose ng alcohol yung na-receive mo? 60 ml. Okay. So, at 60 ml, yung initial dose natin, after 1 hour, again, alcohol has a constant clearance rate of 15 ml per hour. These are constant. So, how much na lang alcohol sa body after an hour? From the 60 ml. So, how much? Ilan? 60 magiging, obviously, 45 ml. Tama? Then, after another hour, the second hour, ilan na lang magiging 30 ml. Tama? And after 3 hours, magiging 15 ml na lang. Tama? Then, after 4 hours, halos wala na yung alcohol sa katawan. If I'll ask you, ilan yung half-life? How much yung half-life natin? In this case, how much yung half-life? Again, half-life is the time required to reduce the concentration of the drug into half from the initial value. So ilan? Okay. So at 60 ml, okay, so we can say here, is my statement correct? That at 60 ml of alcohol, the half-life is 2 hours. Or we can reduce 30 ml of alcohol, or the body will reduce 30 ml of alcohol after 2 hours. That's a correct statement, ha? Agree? Agree tayo. Okay. So, again, balikan ko lang, ano yung definition ng zero-order kinetics? The amount of drug eliminated is constant and not dependent on the concentration of drug in the plasma fluid. There's constant 15 ml of alcohol that is being eliminated per hour. So, yun yung sinasabi ng zero-order kinetics. Okay. Some drugs follow the other principle, which is the first-order kinetics. Balikan ko yung punta natin yung description. Let's go to the notes. So, in the first-order kinetics, the amount of drug eliminated is dependent on the concentration of drug in the plasma fluid. Okay? So again, the amount of drug eliminated is dependent on the concentration of drug in the plasma fluid. And most drugs follow this principle. Okay, for example, again, ulitin ko, hindi ganun ka-accurate yung values ko dito. It's just for representation, nearly sa tama, but hindi siya ganun ka-precise. So example ko dito sa mefenamic acid. Okay, mefenamic acid, it follows first-order kinetics. Drugs under the first-order kinetics, constant po yung half-life nila. Okay? Yung clearance rate po nila, yung nag-iiba. Bali, ito yung pinagkaiba netong zero and first order. So, sa zero, constant yung clearance rate. Kaya nababago yung half-life. Ito, yung half-life nito, constant. Yung clearance rate nagbabago. So, pakita ko lang. Ang mefenamic acid, ang half-life nito, pag tinignan mo siya, is around 1.300 something eh. Parang gano'n siya. But let's just round it off to 1 hour para madali siyang intindihin. If you look at it in the books, it's around 1.3 something. Okay, but again, just to present the principle, so round off natin. Ibig sabihin, pag uminom ako ng 500 milligrams, when I take 500 milligrams of mefenamic acid, after 1 hour, ilan na lang yung mefenamic acid sa katawan? How much yung mefenamic acid sa body? And again, mayroon siyang constant na 1 hour na half-life. Ibig sabihin, after an hour, is the body, okay, so we'll reduce it to half. And ilan yung clearance rate na dito? If you look at it, ilan yung clearance rate niya? 250 milligrams per hour. Tama po ba? Tama? Tama? 250 milligrams per 1 hour. Tama? Okay. After the second hour, after 2 hours, ilan na lang yung mefenamic acid sa dugo ko? Ilan na lang? Okay. Hindi. 125. Again, it is a constant half-life na may varying clearance rate. So, dito sa second hour natin, nag-iba yung clearance rate ni mefenamic. Ito na ngayon yung initial dose natin. And the body will reduce half, okay, nung value na yon. So, kaya magiging 125. Intindihan? So, in this case, naging 125 milligrams per hour yung naitapon natin. Can you follow me with that clearance rate? Nakikita yung difference. Nakita yung difference. So, again, some drugs follow the zero, some drugs follow the first order. Okay, next. So, ibig sabihin, after 3 hours, ang mefenamic acid ko, ilan? This is 62.5. Okay? After 4 hours, magiging 31.25. Ito. After 5 hours, this will be 15.25. 6 to 5. Okay? Then after 6 hours, this will be 7.8. Tama? 156. 7.8. 3125. Tama? 7.8125. 7.8. Tama? Paki-calculate nga. Divide nyo lang sa totoo. Ay, hindi. 7.80125. Tama? Basta yan. Okay. Round up natin 7.8 para sigurado. Tapos after 7 hours, tingnan natin yung utak ko, magiging 3.9. So after 8 hours, roughly 2 milligrams na lang. Kaya po ang mefenamic acid, kung nakainom na kayo niyan, every 8 hours siya binibigay. Tapos usually pagdating ng 6 hours actually, wala, masakit na ulit. Ewan ko kung nakatake na kanya. Ngayari, masakit ngipin nyo, take ka ng 8 hours. Pagdating 6 hours, masakit na kasi wala nang dose masyado sa katawan. Okay? Tapos 8 hours wala na siya, kaya magte-take na ulit yung pasyente. Okay. So, again, ito po yung first and zero order kinetics. Move tayo sa notes. There's a question dito. There's a question here in our notes. Which drug daw yung may higher chance na mag-accumulate in the body? In drugs daw na nag-follow ng zero order or in drugs na nag-follow ng first order kinetics? Ano sa tingin nyo? A, B, or C? Or same lang? Okay. Sige. So, in order to fully understand the concept or the true nature of the zero and first order, let's increase the dose. Okay? Remember this example, Remember this example. Pwede ba akong mag-next page dito? Ito pwede. Ay. Pwede. Okay. Ano pwede. Anyway. So, tandaan nyo to, teka, sa alcohol tayo, So, remember this. Alcohol at 60 ml has half-life of 2 hours, 15 ml per hour. Yung constant clearance rate. Okay. Tandaan nyo siya, para ma-compare natin. Let's say, ganito yung nangyari. Pasado ka na sa boards. Wow. Licensed dentist ka na. Tapos nag-celebrate ka. Okay, nagpainom ka. Pinainom mo lahat. Pati kapitbahay nyo, etc. In-invite mo lahat eh. Ang dami mo talagang ininom. Okay, umabot ka ng 300 ml. So, ano lang to Example lang, exaggerated lang 300 ml. Okay. 300 ml is 15 bottles na yun eh. Napatay ka na siguro nun. Okay. So, ano lang to, exaggerated lang to So, after 1 hour, ilan na lang yung alcohol sa katawan? Ilan na lang? Magiging 285. Tama? After 2 hours, magiging 270. After 3 hours, it will be 255. After 4 hours, it will be 240. If you'll notice, a while ago, it took just 2 hours to reduce the concentration of the alcohol into half, no? From its initial value. And around 4 hours kanina, ubus na siya. But in this case, in order to reach 150 na dose, it will take several hours na. Tama? What happened to the half-life? Nag-increase, nag-decrease? Nag-increase. So basically, in zero-order kinetics, as you increase the dose, half-life increases as well. Tama? If you increase the dose, mag-i-increase yung half-life. And this is the reason, sa mga manginginom po dyan, dati, yung malalakas uminom dyan, pag marami kang nainom nung gabi, lasing ka, hanggang umaga yung alcohol nasa katawan mo pa rin. Hanggang lunchtime, afternoon, even hanggang dinner, minsan hanggang next day, may alcohol ka pa sa katawan. Kaya po, nandun pa po yung hangover. Paikot-ikot yung ulo mo kasi nga literally yung alcohol nandun pa po sa dugo mo. Okay? Ilang hours bago siya maitapon ng katawan. Naintindihan po? Okay? So in zero order, when you increase the dose, mag-increase yung half-life. In the first order, let's go to the first order kinetics. Remember this example, no? 8 hours, wala na siya. Halos wala na. Ay. Let's say, Doc, it took mefenamic acid. Let's say, iniwanan ka, masakit talaga yung dibdib mo, heartbreak, uminom ka 5,000 milligrams ng Dolphinal. Kasi nakakita mo sa commercial, pang pain daw. Eh, masakit talaga eh. Gusto mo mamanhid. So, uminom ka 5,000 milligrams. Okay. So, after 1 hour, ilan na lang yung mefenamic acid sa dugo mo? Again, dito sa constant half-life of 1 hour and may variable na clearance rate ito, so magiging 2,500 na lang ito. Ubusin to ng katawan, Dok. After 2 hours, magiging 1,250. After 3 hours, magiging 625. After 4 hours, magiging 312.5. Tama? Then, after 5 hours, magiging 156.25. Then, after 6 hours, magiging 78.125. Tapos after 7 hours, magiging roughly 39.0625. And after 8 hours, magiging 20 na lang po siya. And halos wala na rin po yung mefenamic acid 8 hours after mo siyang tinik. So, in first order, even you increase the dose, the body will try to remove it sa katawan. Unlike drugs, which follow the zero order kinetics, it will accumulate and it will take longer to eliminate yung drug na yun if you will increase the dose. Can you follow me? So balik tayo sa question. So which drug have a higher chance to accumulate in the body? The answer here is letter A. Drugs following the zero order kinetics. Okay? So take note po yan. Hindi ibig sabihin na hindi nagiging toxic yung first order kinetics ha. Kasi mamamatay ka pa rin dito eh. Sisirain ito yung liver at kidney mo. Kasi nga pipilitin nun itapon ng katawan eh. Okay? And mabubugbog yung liver and kidney during that process of elimination. Okay? So pinag-uusapan lang natin dito yung nag-accumulate, yung nag-stay sa body. Sino yung common na nag-stay sa body? Si zero order yon. Okay? So take note. And of course, again, active form ng drug sa katawan, it will remain toxic. Pwede ka rin mamatay doon. Okay? So pares nakakamatay, but we're just asking yung tend to accumulate. Next. So, ang importante lang dito yung principle. Yung computation, wag na. Ano lang yan, estimate lang yan. Hindi siya totally accurate. So, just take note of the principle of the zero and the first order. Again, but let's go back to the definition. Go to the zero order. And zero order kinetics, the amount of drug eliminated is constant and it's not dependent on the concentration of drug in the plasma fluid. So again, constant siya. Yung first order, the amount of drug eliminated is dependent on the concentration of drug in the plasma fluid. Any question? Can you follow me doon? Can you follow me? Walang question? Okay, sige. Let's have gusto niyo mag-lunch break? Lunch break tayo. Early lunch. So let's assume our discussion ng mga 12:40 siguro. 12:40 p.m. So lunch tayo. We'll learn sa Parba Continent after the break.